Ben, too, was asleep when the boxes arrived, only he wasn't at home. He wriggled in his narrow economy seat, eyes squeezed shut against the glow of his neighbor's laptop, while millions of boxes swept across the country like a fog, 36,000 feet beneath him. Ben's 3-day architectural conference in San Francisco had concluded in the early evening, and he had boarded the red eye to New York before any signs of the boxes had reached the bay. His plane departed just before midnight in the west and landed just after sunrise in the east. None of the passengers nor the crew aware of what had transpired during these dark hours in between. But when the seatbelt sign clicked off and the cell phones of every traveler turned on all at once, they were instantly made aware. In the airport, crowds formed around the base of the giant televisions, each network offering a different spin.
Mystery boxes appear all over globe. Where did they come from? Boxes purport to predict the future. What does your string really mean?
All upcoming flights were delayed. A father standing near Ben was trying to calm his 3 children while arguing on the phone. "We just got here," he said. "What should we do? Come back?" A businesswoman staring at her iPad had taken to informing fellow passengers of the latest news online. "Apparently they only came for adults," she announced out loud, to nobody in particular. "No kids have gotten them so far." But most people were screaming the same question into their phones. "Did I get one too?" Ben was still squinting at the neon screens above, his eyes dry and sore from the uneasy slip. Flying to Ben always felt like sidestepping time, the hours on a plane existing outside the normal continuum of life below. But never before had he so clearly exited one world and returned to another. As he started walking quickly towards the air train to reach the subway, Ben dialed his girlfriend, Claire, but she didn't pick up. Then he called his parents at home. "We're okay. We're fine," his mother assured him. "Don't worry about us. Just get back safely." "But did you get them?" Ben asked. "Yes," his mother whispered, as if someone might be listening. "Your father put them in the hall closet for now." She paused. "We haven't opened them yet." The subway into the city was distinctly empty, especially for the morning rush hour. Ben was one of only 5 in the car, his carry-on luggage tucked between his legs. Wasn't anyone going into work that day? It must be a safety precaution, he realized. Whenever something cataclysmic might be striking the city, nervous New Yorkers avoided the underground. Few places seemed worse to potentially be trapped in than a small, airless train car below the earth. The other commuters were quiet, on edge, sitting far apart from each other and consumed by their phones. "They're just little boxes," said a man slumped in a corner. He looked, to Ben, like he was high on something. "People don't need to be freaking out." The person nearest to the man shifted away. Then the man started singing deliriously, conducting an invisible orchestra with his hands. Little boxes, little boxes, little boxes made of ticky-tacky. It was only then, listening to the man's raspy voice, the eerie tune, that Ben truly started to worry. Suddenly distressed, he rushed off at the next stop, Grand Central Station, and raced up the steps, grateful to be back on street level among the comfort of the crowds. The terminal was much more populated than the subway, with dozens of people boarding trains to the suburbs. Where were they going? Ben wondered. Did they really believe that an answer to these mysterious boxes resided outside the city? Perhaps they were simply running toward family. Ben paused by an entrance to a vacant track, trying to orient his thoughts. About a quarter of the people around him were carrying brown boxes under their arms, and he realized that even more might be hiding in backpacks and purses. Ben felt surprisingly relieved that he hadn't been home when the boxes arrived, snoring obliviously in bed, separated from the invading box by only a shamefully thin wall. It felt like a lesser violation somehow when he was gone. On a typical day at the station, there would be plenty of tourists milling about, listening to audio guides, staring upwards at the famous celestial ceiling. But today, nobody stopped, and no one looked up. Ben's mother had pointed out to him once when he was a child the faded gold constellations above, explaining each zodiac in turn. Was she also the one who had told him that the stars were painted backwards on purpose? That it was meant to be seen from the perspective of the divine rather than humanity? Ben always figured it was just an excuse concocted afterward, a pretty story covering someone's mistake. The measure of your life lies within, a man was enunciating into his headset, visibly frustrated. Nobody knows what it means. How the hell should I? The measure of your life lies within. Ben had picked up enough information by now, from the strangers at the airport and his phone on the subway, to recognize that was the inscription on the boxes. The mystery was only a few hours old, but some people were already interpreting the message to mean that the string inside your box foretold the ultimate length of your life. But how could that possibly be true? Ben thought. That would mean the world had flipped around, like the ceiling above him, the humans now seeing from God's perspective. Ben leaned against the cool wall behind him, faintly lightheaded. That's when he remembered the bout of turbulence in the middle of his flight that had jostled him awake. The plane shuddered up and down, nearly spilling his seatmate's drink, like something had briefly rocked the atmosphere. Ben would realize, later, that the boxes hadn't appeared all at once, that they came during the night, whenever night happened to fall in a particular place. But then, standing in Grand Central, when the details of the prior evening still remained hazy, Ben couldn't help but wonder if that shift in the air marked the moment the boxes had arrived down below.